Hey everybody, and welcome to the inaugural Wyoming Hall of Fame Championship. It's the first time we've ever done this event, and I'm hoping to see it again because I had a blast doing it. Thank you, Kent, for running the event. You always do a great job running these things, and no one really ever thanks the TD enough, I feel.
Right.
We got me, Dakota, and joining Dale here on commentary, following Eagle McMahon as he sees what he can do on this beautiful golf course, disc golf course.
Yeah, we haven't seen him out here on this course since he started touring, so kind of nice to see him come back out.
We got Josiah Griffin as well out of Wellington, Latitude 64 sponsored player. We love to see him in these events up here in Cheyenne. He's always a really fun guy to play with.
Then here we got Dakota Turner out of Cheyenne. Always nice to have a local boy and see you representing Cheyenne out there for us.
I did my best, that's for sure.
Nice putt there from you. And then we had Xavier Locke. I believe he was also out of Boulder.
Yeah, I didn't really see what he was throwing in his bag or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
We mostly talked about non-disc golf stuff while we were out on the course.
Okay. And then we have Benjamin Bradley, I believe also out of Boulder.
Yeah, I think those three all came up here together. Those two with Eagle came up here together. I think they know each other from down there.
Yeah. So here's hole one, long par 5, downhill, 908 feet. Toughest part is it's finishing over water, so you really got to make a choice on that second throw and decide whether you're in a position to go for it.
You gotta hope you have a choice off this drive here.
And this drive can be a lot of fun and it can be frustrating, but you're throwing a big downhill shot.
Eagle has the right idea to hug the right-hand side.
Yeah, it definitely helps to stay right.
That Enigma just didn't want to fight enough for him.
Josiah is also kind of hugging that side, but Heiser's out probably a little more than he'd like.
But it's far back enough that he's actually got, he's open. He's clear of the trees.
Right. It's just more of a blind shot is all, definitely not really blocked. And you got hold of that one pretty good. It's cruising down the hill, but it's going that left side.
Tucked into those trees there. There's a few gaps that you can find through there, but it's definitely time to scramble off hole one.
You're really not looking at getting close to the basket from there.
This looks a little high.
Yeah, it flattened out pretty nice though, but he's definitely also going to be on that left side. That's where most people tend to find themselves.
Ooh, and he tucked himself right under one of those pine trees.
Yeah, that's the worst possible thing. Benjamin's thrown from beside the tees. He must have found those tee boxes a little slippery for his taste.
Yeah, some people just don't like the turf pads, and there's also the fact that they're just short pads on this course.
Right. So here's Benjamin throwing his second.
He needs to get around those trees.
And he tucks himself in.
That's just a wall of pine needles.
So I like this from Josiah. He plays it wide enough right that he can get more aggressive with it.
That's a great placement.
Yeah. Xavier is tucked in there just looking at getting back out to the fairway.
That looks pretty good.
Yep, I think that'll work out just fine. That'll give him a nice open shot over the water.
Yep, it's a bit farther away than you want to be, but you're open. Here's Eagle off to the right.
Having to go to a knee, really tucked into that tree as well. And also just pitching out, it looks like. You got to be in a pretty good position to really go for this green.
Yeah, I had to go straight right out of the trees and try to work my way as forward as I can.
But that's going to give you don't really even have to go over water from there.
This is such a scary shot.
Well, and it's not a lot of water, but it is just so intimidating. And just couldn't hold on.
And that left and deep water just eats so many of those backhand upshots.
Well, everything slopes towards it, so yeah, everything feeds towards that water.
Eagle had a great upshot there.
Yeah.
Ben had a hard time getting out of the woods, but he's got to look at it.
Oh, and that's off to the left, too. Okay, well. Josiah will put one right up there. That's a nice approach shot.
A nice, simple birdie.
Yeah. Anytime you can get a birdie on this course, you should take it. Oh, like that.
Yeah, really glad that hit that. Otherwise, that might have joined them in the water. And see, the wind was actually kind of wreaking havoc on some of these throws.
Yeah, it was actually pretty windy. I'd say probably 25 to 30 mile an hour winds this day.
It's strange how the flags in the back just aren't really moving right now. Good birdie.
I think partly with that one, it's those trees just to the left of it. But yeah, that was a good birdie on that. Oh, and just got the nose down. That was a headwind putt. So I'll take his birdie.
I think
Ben and Xavier both took a double bogey. It's a little rough, but this hole's known for dishing them out.
Yeah, and this is the first hole. There's a lot of golf left on the course.
Yeah.
To work those strokes off.
So 3 birdies and 2 double bogeys. And that's really not that surprising of a turnout for that hole. It really can lead to just about anything off of there. If you play it
smart, it's actually and don't end up too buried in those trees. It's a really easy one to birdie, but that water will catch you. Those trees will catch you. There is a lot.
Well, and sometimes a good drive will catch you because it makes you want to go for that 3, and then you're in trouble.
Hole 2 is right back up the hill, and that fenced off area over there on the right is OB, and then all of the sidewalk and beyond is OB as well. So it's a pretty tight little landing zone up on top of this hill with a sloped green, and Eagle went a little left there to avoid the slope and is looking at a good putt.
Yeah, a little left, a little bit long, but and that tree gets a lot of drives off of that tee.
JoJo said he absolutely loves that tree. Sarcastically, of course.
Right. You can see the wind up here. You can see what it did to that drive. It didn't go forward at all. It kind of skipped backwards.
And as soon as they start to fade out, they're just getting pushed down.
Ooh, that's a really nice drive from Xavier there.
It'll be left, but it should be about pin high. And
got a good roll
also
out of
putting.
It. Yeah. That one's a little more intimidating of a putt just because you're further back towards the parking lot. It's a tailwind though, so that takes a little bit of the fear out, but it also really dropped it.
Yeah.
Had a good line on it though.
Eagle for birdie.
Oh, and he didn't want to let it drop low on him. See if Xavier can make the correction.
Yes, he does.
There we go. That's what we want to see.
That's a good bounce back after the first hole.
Yeah, already starting to take those strokes back. Looks like you're a similar distance to what he was, just a little closer.
I usually don't go for the straddle, but the wind, I was just trying to angle my body as best as I could to get the best tailwind.
Right over the rim, so that works. Good birdies. And that's a good start.
Yeah, this course can get tough later on, especially with these conditions.
Yeah.
Is the Eagle even just punch? Well, I mean, he's got a punchy putt anyway, but he's just making sure that wind has no time to manipulate his disc.
Right.
Couple par cleanups.
Yeah. So no real damage on that hole. Couple birdies, few pars. That one was definitely playing headwind, so that's really not a bad turnout for that hole in a headwind.
And then we turn back around and go right back down the hill again.
Yeah. And this one, man, you really have to hug those trees on the left if you want to get far enough left to get to this basket. But the wind should be pretty good for it today. Seems like it had that tailwind right to left.
I went quite a bit too wide on that one.
Yeah, that's pushing the width, but you'll still have a pretty open look. So, no harm, no foul. That's the most common result.
This looks a lot tighter, which is what you want. Yeah, that's a lot closer to the basket.
Yeah. A little short, but he definitely got the turn left that you wanted.
Eagle, that's looking fine. He maybe went a little bit long left, and might have to have the Anheuser putt into the basket.
Yeah. JoJo hugged that pretty good. Came up a little short as well, but he's going to be in pretty good shape there. Nobody's what I'd call parked, but it's really hard to park this hole.
And those are five standard shots.
Yeah. Looks like you left that one out a little bit early.
Yeah, it slipped out.
He did have to putt it,
and
like
he
you were
almost
saying.
hit it dead center, top of the band. Oh,
He's
Benjamin's
pretty
gonna
good
join
at
me over there.
those. Yeah, he left his out a little left too. Josiah will just put it under the basket, take an easy 3.
No worries. This is definitely it's a shorter hole. I feel it plays shorter, but it's not a gimme.
It's a tough two to get.
Birdie for sure.
That was a really good run by Xavier. I thought he had it there for a second, but just a little bit off to the side.
Missed my par putt on that one. Did have a couple branches to work with.
It's like, looked like he had a little bit of a low ceiling as well, so.
Just an inch low on the basket. That was still a good putt.
Yeah. Xavier with the easy 3.
Almost 2. That was a good putt.
Alright, so that's about what you expect to see on this hole, really. Few pars, couple bogeys.
And I believe that I'm willing to bet that the hole itself averaged over par, but not by much.
Right. Majority of people probably parred it. There might have been a birdie or two, but it's not real likely.
This is actually a very eagleable par 4. The Mando that forces you around this gap does kind of make things a little more tricky, but it's definitely a shot that you can get there.
Yeah. There are definitely options you can take that can lead to it, but you can also end up out of bounds real easy.
Just a little deep. And this shot, I've never seen this play on this hole.
No, this isn't one that very many people could pull off. I believe that was a Rainmaker.
Yeah, that's a Rainmaker.
And yeah, that's just huge.
Like
that's just unbelievable.
Feet.
That's a really good line for that. He's going to be out in the open with an easy approach.
It's a very common play.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do here as well.
It's better if you can get it a little wider. Like this one, it's not cutting in quite as early, so you won't end up as... Oh, the tree.
Yeah.
Just that way you don't end up as far right, usually, and you still have an open look through the intended gap.
The one branch that's in that gap is right in my face.
Oh. See, now this is a fairly tough lie.
But he did make the Mando, so now he can just go straight for the basket. And that's a great shot.
That's a great out. That's a lot harder to do than he made it look.
Oh, that branch might have just knocked him to the right angle.
Yeah, because that is a lot harder to do too, because that's really hard to get out of there.
And I get the pine straw skip.
Yeah, just a little too much on that one. And you can see eagles coming back at it from.
That's so insane. Crazy.
Yeah, I doubt that green was ever even considered for out of bounds on that hole.
On the course notes? No, not at all.
Here you are for your birdie. Oh, just a little bit off to the top.
A little bit lifted by the wind, perhaps, but probably just me. That was great.
He just snuck that in. That was a great birdie save.
That upshot was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love how we're being all quiet, waiting for him to putt.
It's hard not to sometimes. Xavier just made a great par putt after going out of bounds on his drive. That's a great par save. Eagle left himself a little bit of work there for that birdie. But
still cashed it. There's just those few guardian trees.
Yeah, they put themselves right in the way, though, it seems. They're not even very wide. Easy bird for Josiah.
That was great. Textbook.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's the way I always picture that hole being played. You'll clean up your par.
That one, I know it's a par. It feels like a bogey in the moment. It's such an easy hole to three.
Well, and you put yourself in a decent spot off the tee.
That's not to knock Xavier's par save. That was a great upshot and a great putt. It doesn't feel like a par save. It feels like a bogey save.
Well, and a lot of us are used to everything being par threes, so anything over a 3 kind of feels that way. So I know what you mean. So here's hole 5. This is a big 605-foot par 4 over the water. And as you can see, Eagle's definitely going for it.
It looks like he's playing everything as par 3 today.
Yeah, and he wants to birdie them all.
Pin high, 20 feet right of a 605-foot hole.
That's just...
And then the rest of us humans step up and just throw our putter approaches to the edge of the water.
Yeah, not too many people go for that shot. That's got to be, I'd say, 450 to clear the water at least. 480 maybe?
Yeah, something around there. It's 500 foot for a comfortable carry over the water.
Right. Yeah. Everybody else playing the smart, safe shot for the people that don't throw 600 feet.
Right.
I don't know what that would be like, so this is my play.
I'm pretty sure all of us are just throwing putters. Just trying to get up far enough that we have a shot over the water.
Yeah, and it's nice to be a little bit left, like y'all threw it over towards the left, kind of, and that gives you a little bit more of a hyzer in towards the green. You don't have to try and lace a straight shot.
Or it opens up this sidearm line.
Yeah.
Here. And that is fantastic upshot.
Look at that wind just keeping it rolling. Okay. That'll put him in great position. And this shot can be intimidating because that's still quite a bit of water to get across, actually.
Another fantastic upshot.
Ooh. That just kicked up in the air.
Dancing in the wind.
So what were you throwing here?
This is a splice, and I come off a little early with it, and that's not what you want to do with a splice.
No.
And this left side over here is pretty guarded, and that wind is also pushing me over there.
Yeah. That's still not a horrible place to be, though. You're over the water, and you're in a decent spot, safe.
This looks great from Josiah.
Well, and the path is playing safe, so that is a really great drive. It's almost unfortunate, though. Some grass might have let him cut left a little bit. Oh, and good bid. That could leave you pretty blocked by that tree,
That's the
though.
one tree you don't want to be behind.
Yeah.
Jojo just a little low.
You are having to stretch out pretty far around this one, so that tree's definitely in your way. I'm trying to anti-putt it. It was a good effort from
It was
obviously
dead
blocked
center. It
one.
was just way too annied and rolled out.
Then Eagle finally gets to throw his second throw.
The two. I've only ever seen the throw-in Eagle on that.
Yeah.
Not just, just tapping this out. That's so ridiculous.
That's definitely not something you're going to see very often on this course. That takes some serious power to pull that drive off. And control to put it there. It's a nice 3 from Xavier. Josiah will clean up his par, and you'll take the bogey on this one. So
pretty
eagle, 2 birdies,
a wide
par and a
variety of
bogey.
numbers on there.
Yeah.
That was a rough one for me, but it was fun to watch Eagle.
Yeah.
That was a blast to watch from the tee pad.
That was
And like,
that was a lot of fun to watch.
there was
just
pretty much
all
never
together.
a doubt in my mind that was all the way across. The whole
I
way.
was a little nervous when it was
a
over the
little
water
low.
because it was kind of low, but it just never dropped. It just kept cruising. So now this is a really short hole, but it's really tightly wooded. It's tough to get through this one.
Yep, and there's some strange lines that you don't necessarily see when you walk up. There's so many options, almost too many.
Right. There actually is quite a few. They're all low options, but there is a lot of them.
Biting into the ground just a little bit there.
That's what the sidearm does a lot of times on this hole. I've had some good results, but most of the time I end up in the ground. So that one's a little too high. You're lining up the low hyzer skip gap.
And I don't feel like I have the control on the sidearm for this shot, so I go backhand and almost go OB.
Got
Okay.
kind of a crazy skip off of that branch there. Well, and then you hit early and you still have so much of it to contend with. This is a really difficult hole for how short it is. Yeah, see, he didn't have a high enough ceiling to be able to even try to go for that one.
Oh, just got the branch kick.
Yeah.
That was for his par, I believe, too.
Yeah. Oh, and Josiah kind of left himself in trouble. Let's see if Eagle can clean up a birdie here. Oh, just a little low.
Josiah putting for his par here. Looks like the wind is getting even worse.
I think you're our last chance for a birdie here. Oh, and that branch just clipped you.
It wasn't even a tiny branch. It was like
No.
a one branch.
That's a good par from Xavier. This is a short hole that I really don't mind taking a par on. It feels like I should birdie it, but it's like
Anything
yeah,
under
but
250, if you don't birdie it, you walk away saying, "What did I just do?" But it's also like I say that a lot coming off this hole.
Yeah, and there's a lot of 3s and 4s that you see come off of this hole for being how short it is. Only 200 feet long, but it's a tough 200 feet.
But you can see right there's the CTP flag.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can be parked. It can
Oh,
be
it
done.
definitely can. I've come so close to acing it so many times, but it can also lead to some pretty big numbers
and that
real
led to,
quick.
2 bogeys and 3 pars on that hole.
Yeah.
But hole 7 here gives us a chance to take some off if we can hit some tight lines off the tee.
And that's it. This one you really just gotta hit a line that'll get you out in the open and give you a good second throw. So you're just trying, most people try and just punch a low hyzer right through the gap like Eagle's doing here.
And he hit really early, but just keeps on pushing.
And that's just fine. There's nothing wrong with that drive. He's out in the open, has a chance to get up and down for a birdie still.
Not past the Mando, but to a point where the Mando is irrelevant.
Right.
And Xavier has another great drive there.
Yeah, just skips it out there. And that's all you're looking to do on this tee shot is just get it out of that gap. If you can get all the way to the drop zone here, even better.
There is a really good sidearm line here. You can get past those trees, and he does that perfectly. Now, he does still have the Mando to contend with a bit more than we do, though.
He does. It's not really a big deal for where he's at that point, but it's kind of more of a hyzery sidearm, so it takes more power to get to the green from there, I feel like.
Another good drive from Josiah.
Yeah. That'll put everybody out in the open. Ooh, and that came out a little early.
But he makes the Mando. He's just kind of tied up in the trees there.
Yep. The Eagle's a little further back than he was hoping to be, but... Oh, and that
Good
wind
shot.
just stopped him, though.
It might have been a splice.
Josiah throwing a sidearm approach as well, and
Also
everybody just
short.
Yeah, nobody's getting that forward skip because of that headwind. Let's see if Xavier can correct on that. Oh, and he throws it right down into the ground.
Yeah, gets some good ground play there.
Yeah, it's still got up there quite a ways actually. Finally get to your drive here.
And I also throw it in the ground.
It's hard not to when you're facing a headwind, because you know if you get that nose up, it's trouble.
I'd rather that than OB over the fence.
Yeah. So Ben will just lay up to try and get his par. Oh, Xavier gave that a run,
that was
but
a good
just
bid.
a little short.
Hit the pole, nothing, that's obviously dead centered. I think the wind just kind of pushed the nose down on that.
Oh, and you nailed your birdie, no laying up on that one. Nicely done.
Thank you. That was... I don't birdie this one very often. That tee shot is so tough. And Eagle responds.
Yep, just answers right back. He hasn't been making a real serious move until he got that eagle on 5 there. That kind of started him going. Josiah just a little low for his birdie, though.
Trying to keep it under the wind because we're facing a pretty steep headwind here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's windier than it looks in this video. Josiah will come tap out his par. That was actually fairly well played for the group in total. There was, a lot of times that hole leads to some bogeys.
And we all hit that first gap.
Yeah.
We got out of the trees at least.
Right, out in the open.
Benjamin went up and over instead, but it's the same result. We got out to where you can see the basket, which can be tricky on that hole. So
here's hole 8, 418 feet. I believe Path and Beyond was OB?
Yes.
So makes this a really
there's also
tight.
a Mando on the tree.
Left of that first tree on the right there. The eagle just went left of. And a little low again. Looks like you have your origin out.
Yeah, and now I regret it.
Just a little late release.
Yeah, I really did want the flip. I just didn't let it go early enough.
It's kind of hard to do when you have that OB on the left side, kind of making it intimidating.
That's what you want to do.
Looked like you might have clipped one of those trees, though.
Ooh, that needs...
Oh, and that one is out of bounds.
Yeah.
That's the wrong side of that path. See, and it makes this a really narrow fairway, actually.
Josiah pulls it right as well.
And I'll do a really nice sidearm throw. A little
Left
long,
himself
but
a headwind putt too. That's going to be tricky.
Xavier. Oh, that's perfect. Just skip it up there. See if Josiah can do the same. Ooh, he was trying to give that a bid.
I think that's his beetle, I think.
That looks about right. Eagle just kind of putting his right up there.
And there's a pretty generous drop zone for this.
Yeah, we finally get to the drop zone that you have to play from.
I'll take it though.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's see if Ben can clean up this bogey. Oh,
that's that headwind.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Ooh. Tried to do it to Josiah as well.
Eagle drop in his par.
Benjamin for an unfortunate double bogey. That was a terrible spin.
Yeah.
Xavier cleaning up his par as well. From that range, it should be just a cleanup, but it's such a different.
With that wind going, there's no easy putt. You got to take all of them just as serious as a 50-footer because they're just as likely to miss.
And there's no birdies again. We got 3 pars, bogey, and a double.
Yeah, that one can be a pretty tricky one when the path and beyond OB is brought into play, especially.
I think it makes the hole though. It really does. I think it makes it a better hole to play.
It does. It does. And it makes sense to have it.
Now into a short 475 par 4, but the best shot for it makes you go so wide. It's so hard to get to the basket. I think the wind is actually going to end up keeping that one over.
Yeah, because it's pretty much a headwind kind of left to right, so it's really not wanting to let them turn much.
Absolutely blistered, though.
Yeah, that is way out there. Xavier gets that one up in the air pretty good, but it's stalling out. Looks like it's kind of knifing back a little.
The wind is just pushing them down. As soon as they hyzer,
the
wind's knocking them down.
I like this play from Josiah, trying to get a little more skip out of it like that. Play it a little lower to penetrate through that wind.
Trying to go somewhere in between those last two, really. Up and over the bushes.
Oh, and just catching that top of that bush. He did land safe, though, so that's promising. And Benjamin going over the left bush. That is gutsy.
And safe.
Oh, and he makes it. Wow.
In putting range.
Yeah, that's amazing, actually.
Yeah, and then I hit a tree. The tree right in front of me.
Still safe, but in not a good spot. That's a pretty good out there, though. That'll get you a look for the par. That was a great upshot there.
Xavier, see if he can skip that up in there. His mid-game, his upshots are just dead on.
He does seem to have a really nice approach shot game. Looks like Eagle might have left that one a little short,
and
though.
that's kind of a sketchy putt.
Yeah, right towards that water.
And like that water's pretty far away, but it's real easy to get an errant putt all the way down there.
Oh, and Ben just a little too high for that eagle putt. You know he could have used that. That was a great putt. Headwind.
What a bounce back.
Yeah. Oh, a nice putt from Eagle there. Can't expect too much less. He is one of the best putters there is out there, so.
Trying to save that par and don't.
Oh, just if you have that nose down at all, it's hard to get it anywhere near the basket. So.
And this is for just a beautiful birdie. It was perfect.
Yeah, that is what you'd call a textbook birdie on
He
that.
set his mid-range up there, right where he wanted it, with a tailwind putt, just downhill. Just perfectly executed. Josiah as well played that really well. I liked his drive, that lower line.
Yeah, got him that skip out there a little further.
And Benjamin with that missed eagle putt.
That was such a great drive.
I mean, I'm sorry to ruin that star birdie there, guys. In the worst way possible.
Yeah. But
all of you,
when you get caught under that bush, I mean, you were lucky just to be safe even at that point.
Twice.
And then in serious trouble.
But Eagle 6 down through 9.
That's pretty impressive.
Setting this course on fire.
And in heavy winds.
Yeah.
I really wish we could see what he could have done.
Got
to give Kent a shout out for helping me film this tournament while I'm thinking about it actually as well.
TD,
and helping me run the cameras.
He did a lot of work this weekend.
He sure did.
Josiah is still under par, chasing after Eagle as best he can.
Xavier's got himself under par.
Yeah. After a pretty rocky start, Xavier's really working back down.
He's fought his way back down. Ben's starting to make a comeback there. We'll see how it turns around on the back nine.
See you there, guys.